Hello everyone, and welcome to the City of Mist one-shot. Alright, so, real quick before we begin, we've got all of our players and all of our characters ready. We just need to establish the crew theme book. Before we do this, there's a system that I use that I use in all of my games to make everyone comfortable. So that we're not delving into any themes that people find problematic or that could be trauma related. It's called the Veils and Lines system. Basically, if there is a theme that you don't want to be present in the game at all, it's a line. You just need to say so, and I'll add it to the list. And if there's a theme, if there's things you don't want to have described in the game, but you're okay with it happening to your characters, that is called a veil. So the common lines that I have in my games are I don't want any rape or child abuse, and usually. I'm okay with there being sex or torture happening to the characters, just as long as we don't go into all of the details. Does anybody want to change anything or change a veil into a line?
No.
I'm good.
I'm good.
That's fine with me. Yeah, I agree with all those, I think.
Okay.
If we could mostly avoid hate crime stuff, other than that, just it's perfect.
All right. Okay, so I'm adding it. Yeah. All right. So, let's go around the table presenting all of the characters, and then we can try to see if there is a common theme that's uniting all of your characters somehow, or we can select some of the crew themes that bind the characters in a different way. So why don't we start with Tarkovsky? Why don't you talk to us about your character?
My character is Alistair Mackenzie. He's a university student and he also happens to be the rift of Cyrano de Bergerac, who is a sort of swashbuckling adventurer who is deeply in love with a woman that he thinks he doesn't deserve, and so he's kind of too afraid of what might happen to take any action with that, and those are probably the key elements of his story, I think.
All right. Why? I think since the character creation is really easy in this game, we can go really quickly listing the listing the names of your mythos themes and logos themes, and real quick listing all of the power tags without needing to explain them, and we can go into the weakness tags in game. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I have the theme of legendary swordsman, which is an expression theme. The power tags are fencing master, fighting against the odds, and daredevil. And then I have a logos theme of student, which is a routine. He is a university student with a helpful professor and an eidetic memory. There is Roxanne, who is his defining relationship, with the tags unrequited love, hide my true feelings, and I'd do anything for her. And then the last theme is panache, which is a personality theme, with the tags rapier wit, charming, cutting insults, and romantic.
All right. It should be noted that I think three out of you four selected personality, so there's going to be a lot of personality in this game, which is nice.
That should be fun.
Yep. All right. Why don't we continue with Freddie Dioli?
I'm playing Freddie Dioli. They are a high school senior. They have a paper route around the city, delivering newspapers for the local paper. They have the mythos of Hermes, the god, the messenger god, and the god of about 1 billion different things. So they have the mythos of the winged sandals, where their tags are they have fast flight, the sandals are indestructible, and they suddenly know how to play the lyre for some reason. They also have a mythos of being a psychopomp, which allows them to see and speak with ghosts. They're really good at finding out. It's a divination type. They're good at finding out secrets that were taken to the grave, and in dangerous situations, they receive whispered warnings from the dead. One of their logo's themes is routine as well. They are working for the paper. They have newspaper delivery. They have early news access, and they know every street. And they have the personality theme, where they are outgoing. They have limitless creativity. They're charming. They talk their way out of anything, and they will try anything once.
All right. That's perfect. Let's move on to Jack Green.
Okay, that's me. I'm Jack. So my character is Jack Green. He's quite older than the other characters, I think. He's more in the 50, around 40-50. He's a radical eco-activist. That's his mission. He is because he's also a rift of the Green Man, a kind of nature god, forest god, leader. So for his power tags for radical eco-activist, he hides the motivation in his mission. He employs guerrilla tactics, and he has the help of the activist community for that. He does this because his personality is an independent idealist, which means he follows through on what he believes is true or good, which gives him somehow an eccentric charisma. People are bewildered by his ideals, but tend to respect or even follow them. And it makes him quite, sorry for my English, incorruptible. As for his mythos themes, the first one is plant control, which is an expression theme. Does everybody hear me? Because the sound just went weird.
I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
I can hear you just fine.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's just because I muted myself and I've got the AC on in the back.
That's why it is. Okay, so his power tags are plants do as I say. He's stronger surrounded by nature, and he does it with a kind of empathy to all living creatures. While his other theme is the bastion, in which he grows a kind of plant body, which allows him to talk to plants, gives him vine whips, and he sees himself as a protector of the forest. Is that clear?
Yep.
All right.
And let's wrap it up with John Person.
Yes, my character is John Person, a child of the Blackfoot Nation. He's the rift of the Blackfoot figure Napi, or Old Man, a trickster figure, and depending on the particular myth, the Blackfoot Adam, along with his wife, as the Blackfoot Eve, again depending on the myth. His theme names. His themes are, starting with his mythos themes, he has Speak with Animals as an adaptation. He can communicate. He's able to communicate with the natural world, and they, in order for them to ask nature to ward off pursuers and distract an enemy by having animals mob them. His second theme is the first bow, which is a relic. It, as in the tale of the Legends of Napi, he taught the Blackfoot people how to create bows and how to hunt, and the first bow is the manifestation of that. Its power tags are a weapon of defense, which is made to hunt animals, and through its power he has learned the Blackfoot Nation's ancient hunting and archery techniques. Now his logos themes first is his relationship with his grandfather, whom gives him a sense of belonging, feeling somewhat out of place from being born into the Blackfoot Nation, but no longer living within it. Through his grandfather, who offers him spiritual guidance, as his grandfather is much more in tune and. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
I think there's just someone moving around with their mic.
Okay. Through his grandfather, he gets spiritual his grandfather gives him spiritual guidance in accordance with the spirituality that the Blackfoot tribes believe in, and also a place to stay, a safe place to be when he's going to visit and be with his grandfather. And his last theme, logos theme, is training as a army medic. And his power tags are training and treating injuries, the training in order to be able to defend himself, to be cool under pressure, and having possession of a first aid kit.
All right, so that's our team. So now all of you can edit this, but this is going to be the crew theme. It's a theme that all of you can use, and all of you can, and the power tags that are there can be activated to for everyone to have access to them. I think the only thing is that these power tags are burned as soon as they are used, which means they're one use, unless if you use the downtime move to reactivate them. And there's the weakness tag that can be activated. Now, here's how the game mechanics for this game work. At the top of your character sheet, you have all of the main moves called Investigate, Convince, Face Danger, and so on. And when you click them, it doesn't roll stat automatically like other Powered by the Apocalypse games work. It instead rolls plus the number of power tags that you can fit in your description of what your action is. So you can describe how you, if you're fighting with someone, you can describe with as many power tags as you want. And on top of that, if you activate a weakness tag, it lowers your. Okay, so you get a +1 for every power tag that you activate. And you get a -1 for every weakness tag that you activate. But if you activate your weakness tags, you can mark attention on the theme in question. If you mark the attention 3 times, you get an advancement, which is described in the core rulebook. So if we get to see this in the one shot, then I think it could be interesting. And the other aspect to take have in mind is that first of all, your depending on how high you roll, you will have either a failure, a mitigated success, or a full success. And if your actions or the circumstances drive you into a strong personal conflict with either your ability to and you have the ability to answer one of your mysteries of your themes, and you don't take that ability, you could mark fade or crack. Or if you go against the statement of one of your identities, you can mark fade or crack. And if you mark it 3 times, you change themes. So your character evolves, which could also be interesting to see in the one shot, but it doesn't necessarily need to happen. So, has anyone seen what a common theme to all of you that could unite your characters together? I've been racking my head a little bit before the game, and I didn't, but maybe someone picked up on something that I'm oblivious to. Okay. So there are a couple of crew themes that can group anyone together. So, for example, there's the casual detectives. Investigation is a hobby, and our personal lives come first. That could be something. That could be an example of something that could unite all of you after your characters meet. None of you. There could be conspiracy busters, dabblers in the mist. You could all be united by the same event. I have made that is also an option for this one shot, because I've made it sure that all of your characters are personally linked to the story that is going to unfold. So we could go with your crew coming together because of this event. If you're all okay with that. Any thoughts?
I would be okay with it being an event.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with the event. The only other thing I thought was possible, because we have students and activism and that sort of stuff, at least. Perhaps, but
You guys cut out on my end for a bit there. What did I miss?
How long did we cut out?
Right after you stopped right after you stopped talking, the other. Right after you stopped talking, Simon, and right after you stopped talking to them, this is when that stopped. The player for Freddy. Do you want to? You were mentioning the event.
No, I was just saying that I would be fine with it being the event, but someone else was saying that they had something else in mind.
No, I was not saying that. I was saying that I would. My mind went to, if I had to pick a theme that binds them together, it would be conspiracy. But event is fine too. It's not really a strong opinion, so to say.
I'd be good with either. So.
Yeah.
Okay. What about the other two? Are you okay? Are you okay with just the event or conspiracy?
I'm fine with it.
Does anyone have?
I'm fine with it being either.
Okay.
I think I like event.
All right. Okay, so I'm just going to describe real quick what brings all of your characters into this case, and a bit as a sort of like prelude, and then we can start deciding on the specifics of the crew theme. We'll have to select 3 power tags. There's also a suggestion on page 185, if you have the book, of what could be a good thing for good tags for the event. So everybody is linked to this differently. Freddy Dioli, we mentioned during character creation that you'd been looking for the other Olympians for a long time, and you almost got the one called Apollo. You got to you got to his flat, and you had found out that he was called Christian, and he and just like as you got there, the door had been busted, his apartment had been broken into, and he had been kidnapped. For Alistair Mackenzie, you're also tied into this through the kidnapping because Roxanne, who's deeply in love with this Christian character, she realized that he was missing, and she knows that you have this sort of personality where you could be able to do something about it, and so she came to you and asked you for help to find out what could have happened to him, because the police haven't seemed to take it too seriously thus far. As for the other two, you're both linked to nature in a very strong way. So you come into the story through a different angle. Basically, both of you have the ability to be contacted by nature in some way. The Green Man through the plants, and Napi through the animals, and they. You learn that something weird is happening to the sun, and because something weird is happening to the sun, the plants have started dying. And when you've pierced the mist and looked at the sun, it seems to be dimming very slowly. And you investigated up until you found yourselves in the apartment apartment that got broken into of the rift of Apollo that went missing around the same time when the sun started dimming, and that's what unites all of your characters.
Oh, nice.
So let's. I think every one of you should, since there are 3 power tags and 1 weakness tag, everybody can come up with a suggestion for one, and the others can discuss, can either approve or disagree, and we can try to build the crew theme through that. Okay.
All right, and if anybody needs any ideas, I don't know who else has the book, but I have the book. I'm open to page 181, and I can read out the different questions that they suggest for the different tags, if anybody would like that.
All right, so we're looking for the power tags. Okay.
Sorry, did I miss anything important?
No, not really. We have the book and looking at questions.
Yeah.
Let's see. How do we help each other? Where do we meet? What have you learned to do well together? Who's guiding us? Who's guiding? How do we get around? What environments are we most comfortable in? What environments are situations? What special sources? What sort of reputation? What approach do we share? What kind of gear do we have?
Perhaps we should go with question D, who is guiding, backing, or assisting your operation?
Okay, who? All right, so who might that be?
Yeah.
Yeah, might that be?
Wait, are you asking me or making a suggestion here?
I'm not asking. I'm making a suggestion to the group. Not really. saying this should be the one. It's the one that caught my eye immediately. But
I'm just trying to think of who or what could be guiding this. The only one I can think of is being guided by nature itself, considering both considering Jack and John are both were both brought into this by their ability to communicate with nature.
What about Artemis? Like the sister of Apollo, also a nature deity?
Possibly.
That could work.
I was thinking it could be Roxanne.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe if, like, depending on if she has money or resources that she's willing to provide, because she asked Alistair for help.
That could also work.
That's an option.
Okay, so should we go with a tag like rich patron?
Rich patron. Yeah, sounds nice.
That'll
All
work.
right. All right. So I'm gonna let you write it down. Okay. Anybody else have any suggestion?
I definitely keep still being drawn to the first one, the how do you help, assist, or support one another?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. How do we do that?
Yeah. How would you do that?
The two that I'm seeing there that I like the looks of, like thematically, or like the catch overlook details or watch each other's back, that's sort of making sure you're catching things that the other people miss, but I'm not sure what exactly. Do either of those sound good to you guys, or you guys have an idea on that? Or
I think it could be really interesting to have the catching details that the others might miss, because you all have very different mythos and very different logos, which is why it's been hard to find a theme to unite all of you. So you would have different approaches to solving a mystery. So I think that could work.
Okay, so we've agreed so far. So that makes sense. What is it? I think catching overlooked details works. So if everybody thinks that's a good one, okay.
I'm for it.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
so we have.
Rich pit.
All right, I went ahead and added those in as power tags. If there's anywhere specifically we meet or anything like that, or if there's a specific approach or tactic, those two seem like potentially the most applicable ones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Also, I was muted when I was saying this, I think, but there's suggestions for the power tags for if you're united by an event. The suggestions are flashback, this is where it happened, and supernatural residual effect. With the weakness tag, emotional overload, I don't know if they all work, but also I was thinking there's a because you have a rich patron, you might have a special gear, resource, or power that is at your disposal with the question J.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Well.
Okay. Yeah. Do. Maybe you have like. I don't know. Maybe you could have like good quality equipment or free transportation or something like this.
The most logical thing we would get from it might be would be like free transportation. Really, the most logical one we'd have, because this was, as I understand it, just someone that Alistair already knew, just asking him for help. And and she is the rich patron in this circumstance. That might be the best. But that might just be the most that she could. That might be the most like immediate disposable form that it is. Otherwise, anything beyond paying for our taxi rides might be something we'd have to like convince her of.
All right. If everyone's okay with that?
Yeah. Sure,
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. Now it's time to choose your Avenger type weakness. What drives you apart? What is flawed or lacking in the way you operate together? How do you get each other into trouble? Who or what are you all afraid of? And what places or situations do you find tough to handle? Maybe we can play on the fact that you're a very, very new team, since you just started uniting with each other and working with each other since we're starting right after you meet.
Oh yeah, no clear leadership jumps out immediately.
Yeah, no clear leadership or in over our heads.
Yeah, I like vying for the spotlights for how we get each other into trouble.
Yeah, I was thinking something like that, but more like conflicting agendas. Like
I really like how most of these power tags also apply to this to the conversation we're having.
Pretty much. You're saying that like that's news? Come on, man.
All right. Let's try to. All right. Let's try to unite, to gather all of these ideas in a single power tag. Could it be something like newly formed team? Or new team chaos.
New team chaos.
New team chaos.
New team chaos.
Perfect.
All right, and the mystery or identity that is going to be at the center, would it be where did Apollo go, or something?
Who's turning off the sun?
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So now we have our crew theme, and okay. We open up on the scene where you all come back to Christian / Apollo's flat, okay, where he lived, because as a team you might be able to pick up on things that you weren't able to pick up on previously. It's the only lead the police have had on his disappearance, and all right, so his flat is a complete mess. There are pizza boxes on the floor. There's but not in the mess in the sense that there was a fight. There doesn't look like there was any fight. But if there had been, it would be hard to tell because of all of the mess on the floor. It's strewn with DVDs, CDs, wrappers, boxes from meals that were ordered, and also he seemed to have been to have been an artist of sorts. There are drawings and music sheets and poems written by hand on the floor, and that's where your characters are. What are you doing?
Are there any particular paintings or things that he's written down or anything like that that seem unfinished? That might be like the most recent thing that he was working on before this happened.
Well, in order to find this out, I suggest you roll for the first move in which would be in this case investigate. I give and I will give clues on, and you will get as many clues as the power tags you're able to spend for this. So don't forget, you can spend the crew. You can consume the crew things, burn them. It's called to give yourself a +1.
Do you guys should do that so early or nah?
It's a one-shot.
True. I know I can apply. Well, I don't know, but would I be able to apply my limitless creativity tag to this role?
That is up to your description of what you like, of how you're going about doing things. So don't hesitate to look at all of your power tags and try to fit them in this situation. So it's up to because you've got this this limitless creativity, you could use it to put yourself in another creator's shoes and find things. So yeah, but it's up to it's up to you to either it's up to you to either describe that, or if it's really clear, you just need to like mention it.
I have a question.
Yes.
As I'm looking around, is it so messy that I could suspect some fungus growing somewhere?
Mold, maybe?
No, but he does have a dying houseplant to the side.
Well, first of all, I give it some water, and I start, in a way, communicating with it, which I don't suppose will be with words. I don't really know how plants really talk, but in a kind of sense of, it has something happened here, really violent, drastically, has something happened here. So basically I'm talking, you see me giving water to a plant, talking sweet words to it, and I'm hoping I get some kind of vibe of what has happened here. Has happened something hugely violent, hugely shocking here, with a plant, which a plant would notice.
All right.
And I have the green thoughts to me, like plants and like I can communicate on some level with them.
All right. Do you have any other tags you want to apply before you roll?
Empathy to the living, or plants do as I say, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I think all of these apply. You've shown your empathy by giving it water, and all right. So go ahead and roll. And since that's 3 power tags, you roll investigate, and it will show you a modifier, and you add and you add just 3. Don't add the plus because that will mess up with roll 20. All right.
I rolled.
It didn't take your +3 into account. So you actually rolled an 8, which is a mitigated success.
A mitigated success.
All right. Okay. So you gain clues equal power. So you can spend so that means you got 3 clues. You can spend your clues 1 to ask the Master of Ceremonies a question about the subject of your investigation, or ask another player a relevant question about their character. They must give you either a straight answer or a solid lead. On a 7 or 9, they can also choose 1. Your investigation exposes you to danger. The clues you get are fuzzy, incomplete, or part true, part false. And whoever or whatever you're asking the questions can ask you one question as well. You answer on the same turn. So it's actually, the plant is actually going to ask you a question. So first off, when you ask it if something violent happened here, the plant says, "Yes, it's been six months that I've been murdered. He hasn't given me any water, and I've just been slowly dying. But now on top of this, ever since he was taken out of here, dragged out by this human woman, the sun hasn't been nourishing me as well. Who will you help? Will you be able to find him?"
Should I answer? Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm telling, right, little flower. I'm taking it under my arm and I say, yeah, this flower is not going to stay here any longer. But it told me, and I say this with a lot of confidence, there was this Apollo has been dragged away. I say to the group, I have the information. This plant just told me a woman dragged him away. I don't think he can say how she looked. I think we humans look all alike to a flower.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. I think it's fair to say that flowers don't really make differences in humans.
You have two more clues you can spend with the plant as a source to ask other questions. And the question that the plant is going to ask you is, what are you willing to sacrifice to get him back? Because the plant, despite slowly being tortured by its master, still wants its human back.
Yeah. It's the sun that's going to die if he doesn't come back. I would sacrifice. I would probably sacrifice the wood, the particular woods I've been sworn to protect, because all plant life is mostly dependent on it. So that's my question. And I asked the plant, knowing I know you're a plant, so you look all alike. But can you tell us something other about the woman? Did she look like most humans?
Okay. She didn't look like she was made of flesh, but instead looked like she was made out of a mineral. Like the plant felt that it was a mineral that felt like the sun, and that's all the plant could tell you. And the Jack Green has passed this information on to the group. What are your characters going to do now?
Oh boy! Oh boy!
Well, since I knew Christian previously, I have probably been to his flat before, so I'm going to look around to see if there's anything that that seems to be missing or out of place.
Okay. Yeah. Go. So you can also investigate and add any power tags that you think might be relevant to this situation, or weakness tags.
I think eidetic memory would definitely apply.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe also, I'd do anything for Roxanne, even dig through Christian's old pizza boxes.
All right. Yeah. That's 2 power tags.
Yeah. I think that's everything that I can think of.
Okay. Go ahead and roll. Okay. You roll. It didn't. It doesn't seem to be. Hold on. Do you get the option to add any power modifiers when you're rolling or not?
I didn't get an option to do that. No.
Okay, then it's fine. We can add them afterwards. So you had a +2 from your power. So you get 2 clues. You can ask 2 questions, but since you're only just looking around the flat, the clues you get are fuzzy, incomplete, or part true, part false, because it's a mitigated success. Okay, so you have 2 clues because you had 2 power tags. So so you can ask me questions.
So, is anything missing?
Yes, Christian.
But besides that,
let me think. Christian's toothbrush is missing.
okay.
That's oddly specific.
Well, that suggests to me that it wasn't just a straight kidnapping if they let him take his toothbrush with him.
Oh boy.
So that's what's missing.
By the way, one of the moves is called Change the Game, and it allows you to create a story tag or reduce a status in order to or to burn a tag or a story tag in order to boost yourself for the next for the roll that comes after that. It's basically changing what's happening to your advantage, like brewing a potion or like changing the circumstances. Just keep it in mind. You have that move that you can use before other moves. Okay. Yeah. So. What you don't have to spend your clues right away. You can spend you can keep them to use for later. All right. John Person, how's your character approaching this scene?
He's seeing Jack Green talking about. He's seeing Jack Green futzing around with a plant and relaying information he seems to should not have known. And Alistair kind of nosing through. And on the news that there was someone here that took the Christian away. He's actually going to step outside and look for animal nests, like bird nests or something like that, and speak with animals and ask them if they've seen someone matching that description, matching either person's description, and when that was.
So instead of investigating this time, I'm going to have you roll convince, because you find a magpie that is busy just taking care of its own business, feeding its children, and it doesn't really want to do anything to help. But if you convince the magpie, if you manage to convince the magpie, you could get information. So,
okay.
How many power tags can come into play here?
I really think only communicate with nature applies in this specific instance.
So that's just a +1.
Yes.
Go ahead and roll. Oh wow, that's a 10 in total with your bonus. So, your target can, on a hit, you choose a relevant status with tier equals power. So you can give the magpie status like convinced or something like this. And your target can choose either to take the status, or on 10 plus to change their agenda to include yours, at least for the time being. So the magpie is simply going to change its agenda when you talk to it, and she croaks at you. She says, "Yes, I saw this lady made out of pure gold, and she had those golden objects with her, and I wanted them because they were shiny. So I followed her, and she took this shining person with her. They went back to this bar downtown to the west, 3 blocks from here. But after that, I realized she wasn't going to drop any of those objects that she had, and they were way too heavy for me. So I came back here to take care of my kids."
How far away was it? How long did it take you to get back?
2 minutes. It was just the magpie communicated to you that she was gone for like 30 wing flaps and 3 blocks.
Okay, so that gives us a rough range.
So, what are you going to do?
John will go back into the flat and say, "Sam, so does anybody know of any bars with in about a 3-block range of here?"
And that is specifically to the west? Yes. Actually, you do. Your grandfather runs a bar in about 3 blocks from here to the west.
Oh boy.
It's Grandpa Anakau Swen, and the bar is called the Anakau Swen.
Give him the treasure.
Did you realize that after you asked, or did you came in realizing it?
I think
it's more like he comes in and he's kind of puzzling it over. He asks aloud. He kind of thinks about it. He's like, and he just kind of like face palms. Oh, God damn it, Grandpa.
So, what about Freddie Dioli? What has Freddie Dioli been doing while the other 3 were investigating and convincing?
I've been looking through. They were looking through the different paintings, and especially the things written down, to see if there's anything recent that, well, especially when they talked about how the toothbrush is missing. It's like, has Christian talked about anyone lately? Like, was he expecting somebody? Is there something that I can glean about that?
Mm-hmm. Right. You can. I don't really want to make you roll for investigate because there aren't. There are clues in this direction, so you could accumulate clues from this. But specifically, what you're asking, I'm not going to make you spend a clue to get the information I'm going to give you. But you can still roll for investigate, and you'll have extra clues that you can spend on later on in the adventure to remember details you saw here to help you progress. So okay. Go ahead and roll.
I'm going to go ahead and roll with the limitless creativity, if that's okay, because I'm looking through this specifically through, like, he's been writing poetry and songs and things like that. And
absolutely. Also, everyone, don't forget to use your weakness tags if they apply. And if you want to, of course.
That was bad.
No, that was a double 1. So
that was a double 1. Although I did figure out how to add power tags.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. How do you do that?
You just click the little roll checkbox on any tag you want to use.
Oh.
The roll checkbox.
Oh.
I see that.
Wait, where is
Yeah,
On the
It's-
character sheet parts of
under the
it,
power
yeah.
tags.
I see
Yep.
it.
There's burn and there's roll, and the weakness tags just have the roll.
Oh, okay, nice. Perfect. All right, okay. So you don't find anything. You don't find anything that are clues, but you are going to find a sort of caricaturally a caricature, the lewd drawing of someone, and when you like bring it up and look at it, Alistair, you recognize that this is a drawing of Roxanne in a sort of pin-up position. And with her face looking exactly the way that her Facebook profile face looks like.
I didn't find a clue, but I found kind of creep art.
Paint me like French women.
I have no comments.
Oh boy.
So, what are your characters going to do now?
We want to head to the bar?
Yeah. Can we pass the park? I'm going to plant this plant. I'm going to give this plant a better home. I'm not going to leave it here.
All right, yeah. You can take a small detour through the park and describe. Can you tell us? Can you describe to us what the place where you drop where you dig a hole for the plant is, and what it looks like?
Well, I would say, well, you go ahead. I know the address. John told us all at the. And I will not try to pronounce that name, but I take a little detour in the park. I find a nice spot where, even though the sun is dimming, it shines a little bit good. It shines good. Kind of flower patch, and I just find a free spot, and I place a flower there, where it doesn't take any food from the other plants. There's no big tree taking all the sun. Just nice place for a flower to grow and blossom. Some bees are, I think, going around. So I say, here, little plant, thank you for the help. Hope to see you again.
That is really wholesome.
Yeah, yeah. Do I need to roll on that, or just I did that and I'm pleasant? I'm really pleased with myself that I could save this one plant.
Yeah, no, you don't need to roll to because you haven't triggered any move, basically. And I was looking at and like I don't think, and unfortunately it doesn't trigger any of your weakness tags in, I think in the.
Lot of humanity, like.
Oh yeah, sure.
Like his prime is basically on a kidnapping case, and he's going like, no, I have to plant this plant.
Mm-hmm.
I would consider that like not really a human reaction.
You know what? That's cool. Something we can do is, if you being late to the encounter, when you can decide whenever you arrive at the encounter, and if you being late would lower one of the rolls that you make, then you could activate that weakness tag.
Okay, that's good.
All right. That's great. Okay, so all right. John Person, could you tell us a bit what your grandfather's bar looks like? Because he's been your spiritual guide, and he's kept to his traditions. And how does that reflect in? How does his personality reflect in the bar that he owns?
The bar is kind of moderately sized, more like those small town bars that are mostly open floor space, couple tables out, arcade, a music, a music machine and an old music machine and like old arcade games kind of crammed off to one corner. There, most of the decoration from the Blackfoot culture that he has is a lot of art and other spiritual items. A lot of the buffalo is a very common theme with that, as it's one of the more as it is in a sense very very similar to the Blackfoot, very similar to very much a deeply respected and deeply cared about animal because they survived heavily off of during the old tribal days. It survived heavily off of the buffalo. So there's like a Blackfoot Nation flag hanging some symbols of the annual, some symbology from the annual sun dance, and other like buffalo focused iconography, and a couple of more stereotypical knickknacks just to keep people from pestering about. Oh, hey, where are your dream catchers? It's because Grandpa was tired of putting up with it. As much of a spiritual man as he is, his patience has limits.
All right, I love it. Okay, you step. Your group steps in there. There isn't a lot of there aren't a lot of people at this time of the day.
That's not unusual.
Most of the bar is empty. There's like a couple in the back giggling to each other, and your grandfather is the only person behind the bar right now. He has the typical patron attitude in role-playing games of having being constantly in the middle of wiping a glass.
Yeah.
As you.
Sounds about. Just like the old man.
All right. As you approach, you also see that there's something weird with the bar. All of you can see this. But you're going to have to make a roll to see it, to perceive it fully. It's going to be pierce the mist. Just give me 1 second. I've got to find it again. Look beyond the mist. Okay. In order to feel the truth behind things without even knowing how. Actually, no. If right now you don't perceive this, if any of you tries to look beyond the mist, I'll make that description. But there's this odd feeling in the bar, like there's something that the mist is hiding, but you can't quite put your finger on it. And yes, you. What do you do? How do you approach this situation?
John kind of takes in who's here, whether they're regulars, whether they're folk ducking in. Kind of takes in who is here, who isn't. Kind of gives Alistair nudges like, any of these people look like your man, or no?
What did you say? What? How did you end your sentence?
Any of these people look like who you're looking for?
I assume that Christian is not immediately obvious.
No, he is not.
Because John has no idea what this person looks like, so he's getting the idiot question out of the way.
Right. Yeah. None of you recognize any of the patrons in this bar.
No regulars. It's weird.
I think that the Jack Green is probably still late at this point, but everybody else, what are your characters doing?
I'm waiting for something dramatic to happen. Rightfully late. No, I'm not seeing anything I could add at the moment. But
yeah,
John's gonna ask Alistair for a quick description of Christian, so that way he knows.
Okay.
At least his description as like a normal person, as a normal person would appear.
If you'd be okay with that, because go ahead. You what does he look like? You decide what this Apollo character Christian / Apollo character looks like.
He's probably tall and annoyingly handsome. He has sort of dark hair, and he's got a very aggravating way of acting like he belongs no matter where he is. He just seems comfortable in any situation, and it's very annoying.
Okay.
Is he the kind of person who says dude a lot?
I don't think so. No.
So not a dude, bro. Okay.
No.
Not a dude, bro. Okay.
That's fine. All right, John's just gonna ask the obvious. Go up to Grandpa and ask the obvious question, and just ask. He's gonna ask it. How long ago did? And to remind me, how long ago did the Magpie say that this happened, or did this disappearance happen? When they
we're going to say that this disappearance happened 2 days ago.
2 days. Okay.
To give you time for all of your characters to reach this point.
And we get a rough time frame when that happened.
Yep.
Okay. I'm just gonna go up to Grandpa and ask if he's seen two people matching the descriptions of Christian. Seen a guy matching Christian's description come in a couple days ago. And describes him. Might have been a little smart. Might have been a little smarmy. Might have been a little know-it-all. Is what I'm hearing.
No, I haven't. But it was quite a night here, so I might have missed it. A lot of things went down here that night.
What I miss?
Oh, well, those two women started fighting over something. Two white chicks fighting over cultural appropriation. I think one of them must have been a cosplayer or something. The other one was dressed in those long black robes judges wear, and they just start arguing because the one who I think was a cosplayer, apparently she was making a costume, something about she was white and her something about a rift, not that was from another culture. Anyways, the moment they start fighting, something weird happened. All of the light bulbs started glowing brighter and brighter, and they just all snapped at the same time. We had to change all of them. But while this was happening, they kept fighting in the middle of the room, and they broke a couple of stuff. But the cosplayer one ran away, and Haven't seen her since.
You happen to catch any names? Anything? Any names or anything that might have?
Oh,
Keep an eye out for that.
the I don't know who the one dressed in judge robes was, but the cosplayer, she's a regular. She's got a tab here. Her name is Jamie Paul. Oh, sorry, I got the pronouns wrong. My bad.
All right.
Yeah, Jamie Paul.
You know Jamie Lee real well, or is it just kind of someone that comes in, hangs out sometimes? It's a weird story.
No, she's a sort of just a weird. I think she's a private investigator. She comes in and drinks a lot and talks about how her cases are all difficult or something.
Oh boy, the old drinking the workday away.
Yeah, something like that. So,
Appreciate it, Grandpa.
all right. He knows. Okay. In the meantime, what are the other characters doing while this conversation is happening?
Freddy's probably hanging around near the entrance because, strictly speaking, they're not really supposed to be in the bar. But they did notice that weird feeling about the mist, and I'm going to have them try to look beyond the mist.
Okay. So you roll plus mythos. So you roll +1 for every mythos theme that you have. It's not, you don't use power tags for this roll because basically how deep inside how much mythos you have, how deep your connection to your mythos is, determines how much you can tap.
All right, so I'll just click the investigate button, but we can just add 2 to whatever I get to that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, you just went from rolling a double 1 to rolling a 10, so
Nice.
that's good. Okay, that is to play it up like the investigate move, but roll plus mythos. Okay, so all right, on a 10, you either get a straight answer or a solid lead.
Wait, hold on. Did you actually add the power roll? Did you actually add the stuff you can add
It's
to?
12 after the
Yeah.
mythos, which I don't know when dynamite comes into effect,
I
but
think you need to have an advance.
okay.
Yeah, an improvement to one of your themes to be able to dynamite your rolls. So you just have as a regular 10. But you're going to okay. So but you get as many clues as you have as you had in the power of your roll. So how many mythos themes do you have?
2.
2. Okay, so you get 2 clues. I can spend 1 to describe the scene as you really see it, and then you can keep the other one if you want to ask any other questions after that. Is that good?
Yeah.
All right. So as you look past the mist, the room looks different. It seems like the mist is hiding the fact that there are pieces of furniture missing. As you're looking, you see that there's traces on the wall that seems lines were burnt in the wall, and there are always lines that are parallel to each other and that are no, wait. Actually, it's just a single line that is burnt, and it looks like in a James Bond movie where there's like where lasers gone by. It looks like this, and you also see a sort of like a burn mark on the ground and above and on the ceiling, as if something really hot or really bright was in the center of the room. And there's like pieces of the there's like some stuff on the wall that looked intact when you weren't looking past the mist, that have been cut into by the trace of the of the line that was searing things. So, and it's all over the room.
Alright.
You've got another clue. Do you want to ask a question?
I can't really think of anything that could be gleaned just by looking around the room.
Okay.
I'll hold on to that for right now.
Okay. What about Alistair Mackenzie? You don't have to be doing anything during this moment.
I'm just wondering, could I spend my remaining clue to get any insight into whether Christian was here and what might have happened?
I mean, you were interrogating the. What was your source for the clue?
Just investigating the flat. Yeah.
Investigating the facts. Yes, you can spend that clue. You think he would have left an impression if he had been there, because he can be a bit of a loud drunk sometimes. So you don't think that he actually stepped into this bar.
Okay.
Cool. I don't think anything dramatic is going to happen, so I think Jack Green can join the party at this point if he wants.
I was waiting.
Unless there's someone here that's been drinking for a while and looks like picking a fight, I think we're good.
Okay, I just entered the bar, look around, and ask, and get up to speed with what everyone's been learning, just so I know the things I really know now. Okay.
Alright. So all your characters are back together and filling each other in on what they've found. How do your characters decide what you're going to do now?
Well, we've got a name. We've got a name to go off of.
What was the name again?
Jamie and Paul.
Yeah, Jamie and Paul.
Either she got very angry or someone got very angry at her.
Jamie and Paul was Jamie and Paul the one that was supposed to be the cosplayer, or was Jamie and Paul the one in the weird robes?
Exactly.
The cosplayer. Okay.
Okay, so.
Open up the other pages.
Cosplayer. It's how your grandfather understood the issue happening.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Within the metaphor of the story, within the context of the story as it was told to me.
Well, I'm going to ask the bar owner. Do you have a phone book?
That was what I was about to say. I was like, the payphone. I mean,
wait.
Yes, I've got.
I'm old-fashioned sort of guy, so I immediately go to the phone book and not to the internet. If some of your young people has a smartphone and find it easier that way, you can go on. But in my time, we did it with phone books. Damn it.
You find in the phone book, you find the phone number for Jimmy and Paul among the subsection for private investigators, and you have her phone number. There's also an address on listed there for you to if anyone needs to hire her directly.
Again, perhaps she seems like a dangerous person based on what Freddy said.
She might not be the dangerous one. She ran away.
She ran away.
But she won the fight, though.
Did she?
Yeah.
She ran away, so
I was
Also,
actually.
She, like that, I thought that was it. She like ran away, and then when the fight was done, she bolted before she could get in. Before anybody could do something.
it's the Grandpa Anakau Swen didn't say who won.
Oh, okay.
We should. I think we should definitely try to talk to her and see what we can find out.
Yeah, but I was thinking, shouldn't we tread with care, like pretend we have a case and use that as the opportunity to talk to her, or
Well, we do have a case.
We have a case. The problem is apparently Gemelin is apparently a professional. She'll probably see right through us. She'll probably see right through our bullshit.
that's true.
Well, especially if she's another rift.
That's true.
By the way, Freddy, as you were piercing through the mist, I think you were able to see the supernatural aspects of your friends too. So you were able to see Cyrano de Bergerac and Napi as you pierce through their human appearance to see them. That's I just didn't add it to the description because I forgot to do it in that moment, but it just
Alright.
that happened. Okay. So you head off to her office.
Yeah, I think probably Freddie would even, seeing the address would know where that was because of the delivery and knowing the streets.
Yeah, you know all of the streets. It's a power tag. So yes, you've delivered newspaper near that address in the past, and so you know how to get there. In fact, thanks to your cruise free transportation, you make it there pretty quickly. Once you get there,
When we use that?
you need to use it in a move to burn it. So don't worry, I'm not burning your tags just like this.
No, just understood the concept clearly. Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right.
We didn't mean.
We're gonna say you take a cab, I think.
Okay.
All right, everybody, pile in. Get comfortable.
You make it to the other side of the city, and you find that there. You find the office with a piece of paper taped to the door of the building. It's a two-story building, and in marker, someone has in some sort of frantic handwriting, someone has written "closed" and taped it with 2 pieces of brown tape.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time I entered a building which said I couldn't enter. It would be far from the last one, and far from the first.
Okay. Are you trying to be discreet about it?
You said this was a 2-story building.
Yes.
Is this even potentially one of those buildings where the bottom floor is the business and she lives on the top floor?
Well, it definitely could be. You like through the glass through the glass where you see the sign that says closed. There's like a curtain, but looking between the cracks of the curtain, you can see a full office, like a full private investigator's office with the file cabinets, the desk, the magnifying glass, and at least 32 other cliches.
All right, I am actually, if I can, I think Freddy is going to fly up to see if they can see in the windows of the top story, just to make sure, like, if that's another area of the office and it seems like nobody's in, they're still going to have to be sneaky about it, but they won't have to worry about, sneaking into the place and somebody coming downstairs with a gun. So.
There.
You're depending on how new you are to being a rift, this might surprise you, but when Freddy uses Hermes' sandals to start to levitate, there's immediately, there's a car crash that happens down the street, and immediately everyone who would be looking at the person who's straight up flying in the middle of town has their attention diverted to car crash, and nobody seems to notice what Freddy is doing. This is the nature of the mist. The mist hides everything supernatural that's going on, and and who knows, maybe that car accident wouldn't have happened if you hadn't needed to activate your powers. But it's not you who's causing it; it's the mist.
Still, about a foot off the ground, Freddy does a spin in the air and is like, Jesus, and kind of glances backwards before turning back around and continuing up. That startled them.
It's like, you're already committed, kid. It's like, you're already committed, kid. Go.
Right. So they make it all the way to the second floor window, and you can see, in fact, that it looks like a room. It looks like a living room, and you see something odd on the floor. You're not able to see most of it because I think you're trying to be sneaky, so you might not be able to stay too long. But you see pill bottles and pills, and open pill bottles and pills scattered on the floor, and and after that you have to come back down if you want to keep being sneaky.
Oh, yeah. They never intended to stay up there very long, and they kind of sink back down.
All right.
Okay.
We might need to break in, but we might want to hurry.
Well, as seeing that everyone is looking at this car crash, I say, just go in.
Do you want me to keep levitating a little bit?
Well, if you do recon, that would be nice.
Just to keep anybody from looking over.
John tries the door.
No,
He doesn't open it. He just checks to see if it's locked.
Yeah, is it locked? Can we enter? Because it's locked.
But just one, it's a big pane of glass, but it's made out of wood all around the all around that piece of glass. And just with your presence, Jack Green, the door is starting to sprout some leaves.
Oh, that's nice. I think I can roll my class do as I say to sprout some leaves and jam and break the lock.
Okay. Yes. Are you trying to be sneaky about this? Are you trying to be are you as a group trying to be sneaky, getting into that that office or not?
I think it would be a good idea to at least not leave fingerprints all over everything.
Okay.
Well, the plants are going to do it, and plants don't have fingers, so. But my guess is for just the entering. In my experience, just act like you belong there, even though you don't look the part. Just act the part.
Okay.
You would be surprised how much acting like you're supposed to be here. You would be surprised how far acting like you belong will get you.
Yeah.
All right then. Roll for sneak around. I'm gonna say Jack Green is going to do that because you are the one who's making the action of opening the door. What power tags are coming into play apart from your control of plant life?
So, plants do what I say. Roll. Is it necessarily going to uncontrollable growth?
No, but I activated. It's not very. If you activated that weakness tag, you'd be leaving behind weird plants from your actions, which wouldn't be very discreet. So it's up to you to decide to activate the weakness tag, which would get your attention and allow your character to progress.
No, I'm not going to do it as we are going to sneak around. I'm just going to do empathy to the living.
Okay.
Because that's the way I roll. And plans do as I say. I guess so then, what do I need to do?
I don't think empathy to the living would work with... it allows you to communicate, but I don't think it would play into this role.
Okay, no. Then just plans do as I say. +1.
That is a 7. Okay. The master of ceremony chooses one. Someone unimportant noticed you, but that just made them important, right? You're perceived only by a secondary sense. Someone picks up you're stuck in an uneasy. I think you're perceived only by a secondary sense.
Which means
as you're like stepping into the office as a group, you hear the creaking of footsteps above your heads.
okay. That means that we're going to sneak around a little better than that.
But you're in. What do you do while you're inside? And you're in as a group, so you can all.
First thing is close the door again.
Yes.
No inventing intention. Freddy, are you still up there or are you with us?
I'm with you guys.
Okay, super. Do we hear these tracks?
We should probably.
Is there anything immediately unusual about the office downstairs?
You're going to have to roll investigate to find anything else, but you don't see it, and there isn't anything that strikes you immediately as unusual.
Okay.
Well, I think considering what Freddy saw upstairs and the fact that we heard someone walking around, we should probably see what's going on up there.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Go ahead.
we should proceed with caution. I think we should be more tactical. Can we, in a way, investigate with a plan? I mean, that the moment someone sees us and is dangerous, we're not there all, oh, surprise, it's an evil person.
Question. If Freddy went back outside, the shape of the building and where it is compared to other buildings. If Freddy went back outside, is there any way that Freddy could get off the main street and be able to maybe go up, look in a different window, and maybe not cause another car accident because it's not on the main street and there aren't like people in direct line of sight?
But once again, you're not the one causing the accidents. The mist is. But there will be another distraction. It doesn't necessarily need to be a car accident. I'll try to do something that weighs on your mind a little less.
Well, no, but I mean, like, if they're just thinking along the terms of like, if there's like a side window, is that enough off the street that they might not immediately be catching a lot of attention anyway?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Freddy's going to offer, I can go back outside, try to slip around the side and see if I see anybody moving there.
Yes, that's very good. We need information.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and try to do that. I'm going to try to do that sneakily, so if I do see somebody, they won't maybe immediately see me outside the window.
Okay. In which case, I'm going to have to ask you to sneak around.
Right. Okay, I will go ahead and use the fast flight because that's kind of required for this one.
Mm-hmm. It works in the description too.
And I think that's really the only tag that applies.
Okay. Then it's just a +1. Go ahead and roll. Everyone that should falls for it.
Okay, good.
Yep. So you because you rolled a 10, you're going to actually get a nice vantage point on the action. You see this woman, this blonde white lady who is backed up at the inside of her bathroom, and she has a direct line of sight towards the door leading to the stairs that is across from the bathroom and her bedroom. And she has a shotgun in her hands pointed at the door leading to the stairs, and she seems to be twitchy and waiting for something. And you fly in, if we're seeing this like in a panel in a comic strip, we see her we're right in front of her, and you're flying in the window of the bathroom right behind her, like spying over her head in an almost comical way.
Okay, I'm going to go back down and sneakily back inside and be like, you don't want to go up the stairs.
Well, do you describe it? Do you describe the situation, or do you say you don't want to go up the stairs?
Both. I first say, I don't think we want to go up the stairs, and then describe that presumably Jamil and Paul is holed up in her bathroom directly across from the door to the stairs with a shotgun, and she looks like she will shoot whoever comes through that door.
Well, could I use Simon, can I use more team books at the same time for a roll?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. You can use multiple theme books together. In fact, I encourage you to do so. That's going to be the best way to have the best bonuses in this game.
Well, I have guerrilla tactics.
Mm-hmm.
Could I apply them to this situation?
Yeah, your guerrilla tactics involve ambushes and fighting an enemy that is well entrenched, like Jamelin is right now. So yes, this works here.
Well, first of all, I think I don't really want to attack her immediately. Face danger is not necessarily attacking her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just putting yourself at risk in some manner.
Exactly. It's when you use your abilities to avoid an incoming hit in your arm or resist a malign influence or hold it together.
Okay. So, what if I go face the danger,
Mm-hmm.
but I use my regrowing plant armor,
Yeah.
my guerrilla tactics, and I'm wondering, just for fun, does my weakness, considered an eco-terrorist, also apply to the group? Because right at this still point, I just seen a friendly old man talking to plants, and now he's going to all like, oh yeah, but I know this. I know how to handle this particular situation with ladies with shotguns pointed at my head, and I directly have a tactical plan.
I think Jamelin is knows enough about the city that she's heard of you as a fighter of corporations. It's going to give you a -1. She's more likely to just shoot you extra because you're considered an eco-terrorist.
Oh boy.
Yeah, okay. I'm going with those three.
All right. So you can mark attention on the theme of that. Linked to that weakness tag, and go ahead and make your roll.
Are you sharing this plan before you do it, or are you just kind of going up the stairs?
I'm not really actually saying my plan like this is the way I go about, but I'm saying, well, and you see me. Wait, do the people see my armor when I grow it, or is it just?
Because they're okay. So the game isn't exactly clear on this. The rifts are able to perceive each other because you know that the mist is trying to hide everything from everyone at all times. You know you can pay attention to these sorts of things. And you can be aware that when someone is using a power, you will have a distraction. So there's going to be there's going to be a car honking outside when you start to grow your armor to distract everyone. But they can choose to they can choose to try to keep focusing on you to try to see it, but it's not automatic.
Okay. But yeah, what happens is I grow my armor, basically becomes some kind of plant creature, my gear becomes plants, everything becomes wood and plant and whatever, and I sneak upstairs using my guerrilla tactics to keep out danger, and I face danger, which would
Mostly.
be... I am just saying things like don't shoot. No, I'm just going to face danger and confront her. If she decides to shoot at me, so be it.
Mostly what I was wondering was I didn't know if I could assist in some way.
All right. So helping or there's a way to help or interfere with core moves. That's the simplest way to help or interfere with a crew make action, to spend a help point or a hurt point. Oh, we didn't do that. I forgot. To give them a positive or a negative temporary bonus. I'm sorry. That's something I totally forgot to do. There's a different aspect to this thing that I Okay, so we can give help or hurt now if you want to help. So underneath the goal that makes your crew members collaborate, there is a complex network of relationships. Even though they work together, the crew members can have complicated personal relationships and a dark past. Once you have your crew feeling ready, you can build your crew relationships. They help flesh quickly the shared history of the crew members. First, each player writes down the numbers of all of the other crew members on their character sheet card under crew. You can just click edit on the character sheet to like edit in the backstory. You go around the table taking turns. On your turn, you pick one of your theme books at random and refer to the crew relationship section. Each section contains 3 ideas for events or attitudes that shaped the relationship with one of your crew members. Choose one at random or at your whim and read it out loud. You then choose if you want to use this item or discard it. If you choose to use the item, choose which crew member it applies to. And if the player playing that crew member approves, you can work out the detail then and there or later. And the master of ceremonies and other players can suggest how to interpret this item.
Is that something we want to do now, or do you want to just scrap that idea, or go for like change the game instead, or something like that?
We because it's a one shot, we can say that you have that point to that you spend it to help, and we'll just go with that.
Okay.
To make it to because like that would be taking some time off of the game. Okay. Describe how you help or interfere with your crewmates' action and what status you give them. They cannot face danger from this status, so they can't resist receiving an interference or a help. And the other way to help is to use juice that you have banked by changing games. So if you want, you can also change the game before that to help. If you have a way to change the game that would help, that would be beneficial here.
Yeah, the only thing that I was thinking was if Freddy goes back outside, back to that window, if it looks like she is going to shoot, Freddy can like bang on the window behind her.
Yep. All right. Go ahead and change the game. If you fail, though, you're going to have to be the one to face danger.
Okay. I am going to include the fast flight. I'm tempted to use a weakness tag, but that feels really like a really bad idea. I'll do it anyway.
No,
I'll do it.
Fake is positive.
All right, yeah, I'm doing a fast flight, and I'm also putting on the weakness tag of overly cocky. This seems like a really cocky move.
Yeah, it does. It absolutely does.
Yep.
Go ahead and change the game.
I will change the game for better or worse.
Let's hope.
Oh no!
I either get good or I either get amazing or awful rolls. I don't get anything in the middle.
Okay, so you fail to gain an advantage, and the MC can use a hard move against you. Yeah, she turns around and she shoots you. So roll to face danger.
Okay. Roll to face danger. I am also. I'm still adding fast flight to that because I'm still in the air.
Yeah.
Let me see. I will also potentially. I have that whispered warnings. Is there anything in the area like? Would you allow anything in the area ghost-wise being like, move?
Yeah, I think. Okay, so I think there's a ghost attached to the shotgun. Someone who's been killed by it previously, and the ghost can produce the bang of the shotgun before it goes off, but you hear it, so that like you have a start just before the shot actually goes off.
Okay, that's a good idea. All right, I will go ahead and add both of those. And base danger. Well, 7. So.
Okay. You take the status, but with -1 tier. So you're going to take a status, a negative status, that is going to be a -2 status. So all of your rolls that could be impeded by having been shot will have a -2 starting now. It's on the character sheet. It's in the negative status section. But because it would have been at 3, but right now it's just at 2. Okay.
Okay. So so should I just put like shot -2?
I don't. There's no place to write shot, but just apart from in the bio and info.
I just put it there so I would remember that it's there.
Okay. Yeah.
Am I still facing danger, or this all happened when she flew upwards and she was discovered?
Freddy uses the pronouns they them.
Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, yeah. My bad. Wait. They were discovered and they got shot.
Yeah.
I would imagine that was a distraction, though.
Yes, but here's the thing: you failed to change the game, which means you're not providing for any distraction. In fact, Jimeline is like more on her toes. She thinks she's under attack right now. But so if Jack Green, if you want to, you still have a chance of being shot if you go in there. So if you're just going in there to talk, you're facing danger. If you're attacking, you could roll to go toe to toe.
Well, yeah, but then in that case, I'm adding my vine whips to grab the shotgun out of her hands.
Okay, so you're going toe to toe.
I'm going toe to toe.
All right. Okay, so you've got vine whips, guerrilla tactics, and your armors. That's +3. Do you have any weakness tags that apply?
Yeah, radical terrorist.
Oh yeah. You're still seen as you're still seen as a terrorist. Okay, 11. All right, so you choose 2. You manage to reach your goal and take something they hold. You were going for the shotgun, so I think you're going to choose this one. You get them good, inflicting a status with a tier power, and your power was 2. And you block, dodge, or counter their best attempts. If you don't choose this, they can inflict a status on you. If they're a player character, its tier equals their power. Okay. So,
the 3 options. I take something belonging to her.
Mm-hmm.
The second one was I didn't hear quite well.
Oh, it's in roll 20. Roll 20, like right under your roll, it has a description of those things.
Okay.
But the second one is you get them good, inflicting a status with the tier equals power. You had a power of 2 for this roll, so you could inflict a status that gives her a -2 from here on out.
Well, I would say I go with 2 vines. One takes the shotgun, and the other constricts her. So she has the -2 on attacks and that sort of thing.
If you do that, she might shoot you, though.
Yeah. If
Right.
you do that, that's
Not if I have a shotgun.
what?
Not if I have a shotgun.
Well, no, because the last one there says if you don't choose it, they can inflict a status on you.
Oh yeah, okay.
But inflicting status is the only way to make progress to defeating an enemy. So you can take the shotgun. That's fine. But then it's a question of whether you want to defend yourself from a status and inflict and not inflict one on her, or whether you want both of you to be touched by a status. It's up to you.
I go for both of us get a status. She's constricted right now.
All right.
And
Yeah.
Have a shotgun.
All right. So she takes constricted at 2, and I'm gonna write it down real quick. And also, something weird happens. She looks at you, and her eye starts to shine, and you can see that her face looks more like an eagle's for a second. And it's by a sort of golden halo like the sun, and you are pierced by a laser made out of light that burns through your wooden armor, and you are you just got you take the burned 3 status. It's a negative status, so you're going to have -3 to any roll that could be impeded by the fact that you've been burned.
Damn.
Okay. Alistair and
Wait, would in that case not weakened by fire, or I just have to click it if I want to?
Because you didn't know you were going against fire, that the weakness tag didn't apply to the roll. But if you go toe to toe again, you have it, and there's a chance that she could burn you. Then you can activate that weakness tag too. Okay.
Okay, that's good.
All right. So, Alistair Mackenzie and John Person, what are your characters going to do in regards to the situation?
Well, we just heard. So
A gunshot and a laser.
We heard a
Yeah.
we heard a gunshot and a scuffle. With the mist attempting to given the mist obfuscates the mythos themes, the building probably creaked real loud to stop us from hearing a friggin' laser beam going off.
Yeah, something like this. But you did hear a shotgun going off.
Yeah, no, that's perfectly mundane.
Yeah,
Totally normal day.
I think I would probably start running up the stairs and try to calm everyone down and say, "Look, we're just here to talk."
John will do the same. Head upstairs and attempt to help diffuse the situation.
All right. So you can that would be convinced when you're using your abilities to talk, threaten, or seduce someone into doing something. You're trying to. I think you're. Yeah. Here's the thing. I think. But I think since this is also a sort of combat situation, you're trying to overcome someone who's fighting you, who's fighting your group. So you're going to have to roll go toe to toe, but you're doing it in a social way, and the status that you will apply will be a calming status. Okay.
Okay.
So both of you can roll to go toe to toe.
Okay.
Let's start with Nabi. What tags are you using?
I'll invoke cool under pressure.
Okay.
Given how, and I think that'll be the only one that really applies all that well.
All right. Go ahead and roll.
10.
All right. Great success. So you've got to choose 2. You manage to reach your goal. Take something the person holds. You get them good and you inflict a status, and you block, dodge, or counter their best attempts. Which 2 do you choose?
I'll get them good and block and dodge their best attempts.
Okay. And you're inflicting a rank 1 status. So that would be something like calmed 1. Oh, by the way, yeah. Her status of being constricted didn't play into this, but the next person who tries to go toe-to-toe to keep trying to calm her, because she took the status calm at -1, the next person gets a +1, as if they have an extra power tag to keep convincing her. It's not enough to get her out of the fight. So what do you say, John Person?
Well, considering it wasn't very calming, it's just enough. It's just enough, if I would think, to like get her to start. To get her to start.
Mm-hmm.
To get her to start. Start considering not shooting anyone, and considering if she's considering she's a regular at. Maybe I could have invoked Grandpa's house as she's a regular at the bar.
Uh-huh.
I could have. Oh well. Thoughts for later.
Okay.
You didn't really need to be fair. You rolled really well.
I know. I'm just saying. I could have inflicted a better tier, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it could have been tier 2. So, she yells back at you, who are you? Did Beatrice send you?
No, Beatrice had nothing to do with this. We're here about. I'm here about. I promise. We're here about. We're here about the. We're here. At least I'm here regarding the fight at Grandpa's bar the other day. We know, and by this point we've kind of all realized. I think we all kind of realized we're all rifts in this building right now.
Mm-hmm. Alistair Mackenzie, it's
So it's like
your turn to go toe-to-toe to try to defuse the situation.
Okay. Is there a limit to how many tags I can put on a move? I can't
Technically,
remember.
there is not. The game master, but the game master could choose to use the grid system to limit the bonus given by the thing if you use too many. I'm not going to get into that for a one shot. So if you have 10 that you can use, be my guest.
+10, yeah boy.
Well, I think charming definitely applies,
Yes.
and rapier wit I think would also be useful.
If you, yeah, I suppose it would.
he's thinking on his feet.
And then fighting against the odds, I think, could apply because the fight has already started and I'm trying to stop it.
Yeah, but you are four against 1, so no.
All right, fair enough.
You have some charismatic characters. Could we help him in the charisma, in the convince, whatever you're doing right now?
Sure. We can say that you spent a help point to help out here. Yeah, and you could give a positive status to your friend by describing how you're helping out. It would help the roll, but not the power of the status being inflicted on Jamie.
My thing would be to say to her, you know my reputation, you know I could have done lots worse. Be glad you're just constricted right now and that there's not a tree growing out of your head. Things like that.
Oh, no.
Okay. All right.
That's more intimidation attempts.
It's not really an intimidation. It's like, be reasonable. It's clear I didn't want to kill you.
I think the status that you just gave Alistair is I'm definitely the good cop in this situation at +1.
Yeah.
So Alistair, you can write. You've got a +1 on your positive status.
And another +1 because she's convinced already,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Because,
And then I think because I'm acting on Roxanne's behalf, I would try to invoke I'd do anything for her. But because I'm also trying to help Christian, I think Christian the rival as a weakness tag would also apply.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to go toe-to-toe. 10. Yeah. So you choose 2. What do you do? Which ones do you choose?
With you take something they hold. That's not necessarily something physical, is it? Like
It's not. It's not at all.
yeah. So I think I take. I reach my goal and I take away Jamielin's fear or her belief that we are trying to hurt her.
Okay. Yeah. We can do that. And since you've got a tier power of 4, and she's easier to convince than to fight, you overcome her. You manage to win this. Do you also? But you also need to get them good to do this, which means you open yourself to not being able to being dealt a status 2.
Yes, that's what I want to do.
Okay. All right. So she looks at you with her eye, and her eye flashes, and inside of her eye you can see a reflection of the worst of one of the things you're most ashamed of. She's able to scrutinize your past and show you that she knows. What's the thing you're most ashamed of, and that's going to give you a tier 3 status.
I lied to Roxanne about something, probably to try to make myself look better in her eyes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. So you have this. We're going to give you the status guilt trip at -3. Okay.
Okay.
But in exchange, you convince. Jamie Lynn stops fighting you. She says, "All right. Fine. You're not here to kill me. Just get those roots off of me."
Well, okay. I agree. The roots are going off.
Okay. She dusts herself.
I hold the shotgun. No, I hold the shotgun.
Okay.
Not aimed at her, but ready.
Is Freddy still out the window?
Sorry. So before I describe this, Jamie Lynn moves to the window and calls to Freddy and says, "Sorry, I shot you." Freddy, where are you?
Probably on the ground. I got shot. I'm sitting. So Freddy kind of waves vaguely upward and is like, "All right, I'll come up now." Kids goes around to go in the building.
Use the freaking stairs like people.
Yeah. This time,
Like
this
a
time
human
they will
being.
use the stairs like people.
Wait,
like a real people. I imagine they got shot in the arm because it's not like as bad as it could have been, so they're kind of holding on to that.
Yeah.
Here, come on, kid. How far? Come on, kid. Let's get you taken care of.
Yeah.
And John is going to attempt to treat. He's going to attempt to patch up Freddy's gunshot wound.
Okay.
First aid.
You're going to change the game to reduce a status.
Yes.
All right. I'll let you roll this in the background. You can just write what tags you're using for this. I trust you on. Trust you on this one. And
do it also for me, or is it because I'm a gravy bird? I got a laser in my chest.
Actually, everyone who wants to.
Because I've already got the things I think are applicable queued up.
Okay.
I got for my tags. I've got treating injuries, first aid kit, and calm under pressure. Because dealing with buckshot is a very delicate task.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And my weakness tag of temporary treatment.
Yeah, it's not a permanent solution to healing your wounds. It just patches you up.
You're not going to bleed to death.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and roll to change the game for to heal. 8. So you get juice equals power. So that's 2. You spend your juice 1 for 1 to gain the following effect. You can remove 1 tier from a status. So you could, because your power is 2, you could completely remove the short status from Freddy.
It's like, all right, kid, you got lucky. She loaded it. All right, kid, you got lucky. She loaded it with birdshot. It's not as bad as it looks.
Seeing as she is the Rift of Horus, it seems appropriate.
Well, the thing about like, and that's what I will do is inflict the. I will reduce the status. I will spend all that to reduce the status down and eliminate that. It'd be like, you got lucky. She wasn't using buckshot. She was using birdshot. That is way less unpleasant and way less lethal.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And that is an actual accurate fact in real life, because a proper buckshot round is are much thicker lead balls going very, very fast. Birdshot is just scatter as many pellets as you can to hit that flock of birds running away, because birds can't take a punch. Like, depending on how close and how accurate she was, they might not many of them really hit you, or even broke the skin, depending on the gauge.
Also, you can't do exactly the same roll twice in a row. You can't heal using the same power tags. And also you can't activate the same weakness tag for the same roll in the same session. So you can't use the same weakness tag technically to mark attention again for a healing.
Okay,
ability.
So I can't use these for the same ability.
To change. No, it's not that. It's just that you can't change the game with exactly those same tags again.
Okay.
You couldn't reactivate. If you change just one tag, technically you can make the same roll to help the.
I can't use the same. I can't use that same loadout.
Yeah. You could use that to help Jack Green, who's been burnt, and he has a status of 3. So if you don't use your weakness tag, you could actually heal him completely if you roll a success.
Yeah.
You could perhaps use communicating with nature for its. I was in my plant nature when I.
Well, the problem with my character using his communicate with nature is he communicates specifically with animals.
Okay, no.
He's
Wait.
not a plant speaker.
Okay.
But you all, since you're not taking the same weakness tag, since you can't, you basically have a different roll. You can just make the roll with +3 because
Okay.
it's different. It's not the same. It's not the same combination of tags. You see what I mean?
Okay.
In a combat, for example, you'd have to change it up by using by using less tags, or by using more tags or different tags.
Adding more pieces, for example.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So-
I'll do
so-
that. I'll do that. I'll roll for that I'll roll for that with treating injuries, cool under pressure, and first aid kit.
Okay, go ahead. Fail. So you fail to gain an advantage, and I can use a hard move against you. All right. So while you're treating the green man, and you don't, and it's weird. Like none of the products you're using on his shoulder seem to react as if he had, like they usually do against skin. Jamilin starts to say, geez, it's getting worse. I don't feel so good. And after a couple of seconds, there is her head starts to shine, and a sword, the blade of a sword, pierces her chest, and coming out of nowhere, and she collapses on the floor, and the sword is retracted from her body, and she starts to bleed out on the ground in front of you.
Oh shit!
That's no one should have seen that coming.
Yeah, no, it's just I can activate a hard move when you're text like this.
No, it was just a sudden surprise. Okay. Yeah.
So that's probably a bad thing, I would think.
Yeah.
Barry.
So,
So she died immediately.
Because you had previously inflicted different statuses on her, yeah, she's dead. Yeah.
Shit.
But that's not that big of a problem. In fact, it's an advantage to interrogate her for one of you.
We do have a psychopath.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's.
Wait. What's behind her?
Yeah, I was
What
gonna
does that?
say.
What did that?
Yeah, initially First
Can
things
I do-
first. What?
There is nothing behind her.
Can we pierce the mist? Is there some
Okay.
kind of mist?
Go ahead, you can pierce
Yeah,
the mist.
I'll do the
I
same.
pierce the mist.
I will do the same.
That sounds like a great plan.
Yeah, I think all of us are trying that.
Yeah.
So you all roll plus Mythos.
Yes.
So you rolled the number of. Okay.
I got
so,
an 11.
So
Okay.
wait.
All right,
How do you investigate plus two then in my case?
Okay. I'm just going to describe it because Freddy succeeded, and then you can like like if you have extra questions you can. Wow, you guys are not rolling very well. Like
It's a 5.
We got distracted by the sudden sound of an ice cream truck in the street.
Yeah, exactly. So Freddy, there is the mist isn't hiding anything. The sword just came out of nowhere, but it's weird. It didn't come out of exactly nowhere. It came out of a sort of sympathetic connection. It came out from it came through something connected. It came out of her mythos, her mythos was somehow attacked by the sword and pierced her. That's what happened. And
so if I'm understanding it right, whatever mythos she was the rift for, if that mythos elsewhere got attacked, it killed her.
But her mythos can only be in one place. Her mythos was inside of her. But you got two clues. I can reveal something else if you spend the other clue. But then, would you be okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks to your ability to pierce through the mist, there's something else that you'll notice at the same time as the sword went through Jamie Lynn's chest. It's that outside, everything grew darker sudden.
Yeah, my instant reaction was go look for the sun, and perhaps can I look at the sun and
Wait, hold on. She was supposed to be the Rift of Horus, right?
It's another sun deity.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think we know that in character, unfortunately.
This is beginning to sound like that Simpsons episode where Mr. Burns wanted to kill the sun.
My God, it's the rift of Mr. Burns.
Oh my God.
So when you look
Simpsons
outside, the sun
so
is
huge that it
still
could.
shining, but it's much dimmer than it was before.
Can I look through the mist, looking at the sun actually?
You can, but you're not going to get any more. Like there aren't more clues to get from this, I think.
Okay, no, that's okay.
Oh boy.
Boy, the sun is dying. This is well.
Well, I'm going to. I assume that
You are the
Jamie Lynn's ghost is there, since she just died.
Yeah. Yeah. She's just getting up and being like, "Oh fuck, that hurt." Well, I'm glad I'm still in one piece. So what's happened? Why are you? Why is nobody looking at me apart from that kid?
I think it's my job to explain things to Jamie Lynn, isn't it?
Probably.
It's what comes with the responsibility of being a psychopath god.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Just remind her not to turn around. Don't look behind her.
Yeah, I'm just Freddie has to break it to her that she is not in one piece.
She's not going to be king of the pirates?
But God damn it. I got that joke.
See, I heard that, and the first place my mind went was Gilbert and Sullivan,
No.
which was very confusing for a moment.
Been waiting for you to say it.
Okay. What is Freddy doing?
Freddie is explaining to her that she is dead, and it's like, did you see that sword?
Yeah, I saw it. She looks down at her body and she says, didn't realize that I thought that was just like some weird voodoo thing. Fuck.
Can I roll to get information from her? Any idea who did this, or has she ever seen anything like that before? Anything like that?
Yes, you're going to have to convince her because right now she is because right now she's starting to panic and she's saying it's fine, can just run away and stay away from any rift of death and stay as a ghost forever. Yeah, I can do that. And she's starting to back out of the room through the wall. You need to convince her.
Okay, I think I'm going to. Well, I have the see and speak with ghosts. Secrets taken to the grave would apply because there's obviously stuff that she is not telling us.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't whispered warnings would apply to that one, even though whatever she says is probably a pretty big warning for something.
Yes, you're right.
Okay, I will go ahead and use charming.
Okay. It's 3 times.
You adjudicate this. Would talk my way out of anything apply to this or no?
I don't think you're not in personal danger.
Okay.
You're not trying to get out of a difficult situation for you. It's more a difficult situation for, anything that requires the sun to survive.
Right. Okay, so I'll go ahead and leave it at that and roll a convince.
Still a +3.
9.
Okay. So that is a mild success. You choose either to take... the person you're convincing either chooses to take a relevant status of your choice with tier equals power, so that would be a tier 3, or give in a little but protect their own agenda. Her agenda is running away, but what status would you be causing her if she doesn't cooperate?
Oh, if she doesn't cooperate?
Yeah. Because she gets to choose between cooperating, giving in a little, and protecting her agenda of running away later, or taking a from you. So it can be either intimidating if you're threatening to make her known to the god of death or something, or it could be just you can make her feel bad for not resolving something before she died.
Maybe you want to make her, you want to convince her to find out who killed her.
Or what killed her?
Yeah, I'm just not sure what status would be relevant for that.
Okay.
Like what she would go away.
Oh, she's technically already been defeated in that regard because she's maxed out on the convinced section before when you were talking with her. So she can't take any more status without being defeated again. So she has to cooperate with you. So she's going to do that.
Okay.
So she tells she agrees to cooperate with you and talk with you and questions. She says, "Fine, I want that bitch dead anyway, so I'll lead you to her if I can."
All right.
I recognize that sword because I fought it 2 days. I fought the person wielding it 2 days ago. That's the sword of Beatrice Greywood. She is the Rift of Justice, and she's an asshole.
I heard.
Do you have any idea where Beatrice might be now?
Yes, I know where she is. God, I can't activate it anymore, but my eye of Horus allowed me to see things. It allowed me to move away from her when she was coming back to the bar. Yes. The last time I scrutinized her, she was on top of the highest building in the city with some dude, some black-haired, black or brown-haired dude, and she was doing this weird ritual with him. That was a couple of minutes ago, and then you came in and you distracted me. That's where she is now.
We are so sorry about that.
I don't think you could have stopped a sword coming through her sword coming through my chest, even if, and I don't think I could have stopped it either, even if I had been not distracted. So it's not on you, kid. It's on her.
Well, I know you're trying to hide from death gods, but if you need something from me, you can come and find me.
She nods. She's going to keep. She's going to start leaving. But he says something about. Wait. What are you going to do to her? And she's asking this to the entire group. And she asks
I'm
you
pretty sure
to
Freddy's
relate
the only one that can actually communicate with her, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
She asks you to relay this to the rest of the group.
So what do we do with her ghost?
No, what are you going to do to Beatrice Greywood, the Rift of Justice?
I think we're going to ask her politely to return my friend Christian, and if she doesn't want to do that, then we'll
More
ask her less politely.
We're at least going to stop her.
Yeah, stop her killing the sun.
She already did. I'm dead.
Yeah.
I mean, there are other sons, though.
Hopefully Apollo isn't.
She's not after the sun. She was just after me.
Say, Freddy, can you ask her something about Apollo?
Yes. Do you know anything about... And I described what the description of what Christian looked like and everything. He disappeared the night that you had that fight with Beatrice in the bar. Have you ever seen him before? Do you know anything about him?
Yeah, you're describing the person that was with her when a few minutes before you arrived here, and she pierced my chest with her sword from a distance.
Did he seem like he was with her willingly?
Not exactly, no. He was sort of tied up to an altar table.
Then she did kill the Rift for one sun god, and she has another one on an altar. I think she has big plans.
She only came to me saying that I didn't have any right to be Horus because I was white and it wasn't part of my culture, and because we'd been invading other cultures for millennia. I didn't think she was just. I didn't realize she was actually trying to destroy the sun or something. Well,
thank you for everything you've told us and all your help.
You're welcome. Say, if I ever need to contact anyone for help, I'll try to find you so you can because you can see me. All right, bye. And she starts to leave.
Okay.
I wish her good luck.
Okay. You don't hear her response, but Freddy, you hear I don't need you. You guys are the one who can still die while facing off the avatar of justice. So
Freddy just kind of covers their face, they're not sure whether to that's too true for me to be comfortable with or to be amused.
I don't
they got
need
shot
luck.
today.
I have panache.
I don't need luck. I have dead.
Well, I think we should approach the following situation with a little bit more care.
I don't think I'm just flying straight up to meet this time.
I understand where you're coming from there, yeah.
Yeah, it is. By the way, probably a bad time to mention this, but seeing as someone could have noticed him going in, and we have a dead person, and as you probably know, I'm not exactly on the right side of the law. I think we should go away as fast as possible. I don't really need my name attached to, gruesome murder. That's
We should live. Yes.
yeah.
That's reasonable. Yeah. And we should get to the tallest building in the city as quickly as we can, I think.
I think Jamie Lynn comes back just to say, by the way, like don't perform any rites that could to my body that could allow my soul to move on. Okay, and she leaves again.
I don't know any.
I mean, technically, your mythos is like it's one of your mythos's purpose, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing though. That's why I put the mystery as how can I help the restless dead, because I have like some ghost sensing and hearing and seeing abilities, but I'm not sure what to do with them. Like, I don't actually know how to improve this situation yet. I don't have any contact with Hades. I don't know what to do with these ghosts.
At least don't put 2 coins on her eyes. I think we can agree on that.
Won't take her on any ferries. That's fine.
I think that would, in your mythos, that would help.
Yeah.
Not putting coins on her. Okay. So getting away as soon as possible.
Yes, doing that and figuring out what the tallest building in the city is.
Okay. Yeah. You make it out. There were gunshot. There was the sound of gunshot that has started attracting the attention of the police. But because all of you have, but you make it out there, I think I'm going to say the circumstances bring you to burn the free transportation crew aspect in order to get out of there before the police. If that's fine with everyone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Might be good to start burning individual tags too.
Yeah.
And since we're 1 hour away from stopping the game, I would like to remind you that there is a move not on your character sheet called Stop Holding Back, which practically has a good chance of killing your character or changing them forever. But in exchange, you can stop holding back the power within you and change the situation drastically. But more on this if you decide to activate this move later in the game. You find the tallest building in the city is this huge skyscraper when you the first time that you perceive it, it's like the sun is contouring it, and as you move nearer to it, because the sun is rising, it keeps contouring that specific building. You reach the bottom. It appears to be the headquarters of a big corporation. We're gonna say it's one of the ones that John Person hates, and they hate you too. So there's a good chance that people inside might recognize you. It's one of those very polluting mega corporations.
I wouldn't have expected Justice to sit here. This is not a nice thing to learn for my character. Justice is sitting there. I don't care.
Justice is also trying to turn off the sun. To be fair.
I don't know if he's trying, but I don't think that company is trying to destroy the planet, but they're doing it, and I don't like it.
It seems weird. Like in the same building are people trying to destroy the planet and someone trying to destroy the sun.
I mean, those are kind of inextricably linked. So
to be fair, she's not Justice. She's the Rift of Justice, and I don't think any of us would argue that being the Rift of something makes you the perfect embodiment of that thing.
No.
Yeah, but you
Very
said
true.
Avatar. Didn't
I
I,
mean,
get
you see how much we also we all heard how much her ego was. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I would suggest we make our plan not in plain sight before the building before I start drawing unwanted attention.
Good plan.
Your characters move back to the city square nearby, and you're all sitting next to a water fountain, to like one of those public fountains, and that's where you're making your plans stand of this scenario.
So I don't think they'll allow us to just go to the top of the building. That, especially me. But I can guarantee you, give me a little time to prepare, get some acorns or something, and I can put on a distraction that will allow people to eventually go there.
Well, I think at least Alistair and John have some chance of getting to the top of the building without being arrested.
And I know I can get up there.
Yeah, Freddy obviously fly up there, which is definitely going to eliminate some obstacles, I think. Freddy, can you? Would you be able to bring Jack up?
I'm a full-grown man. They are, I don't know how big.
Like a high school kid.
17 years around there. Yeah, probably not.
I've done. I could use vines to climb it, but
You could, and I don't know that many people would really notice that.
or if there is some plant growing like vines growing against the building, but I doubt it because it's a huge corporate building and they don't are known for their lush.
Is there any way that our patron could get us up to the top of the building? Because we have a rich patron. I just don't know if there's any way that would.
Yeah, you could burn that tag to get a +1 to make a convince check to have security let you in.
Okay, so anybody who is going to be trying to get up to the top could pick the inside of the building could probably do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also we need not only think about getting to the top, but
I could sneak up with these.
There. Sword wielding crazy lady justice there.
Well, I can my animal friends can help me get there. You know how many rats live on a city block alone?
The sewers.
So, I think that leaves us with just Alistair trying to actually get up there by conventional means, really.
Okay.
And he's got a decent chance of doing that, I would say.
All right. So, Alistair, you can burn Rich Patron to add to get Roxanne to come here and help you out, and that would even mean that you could even have the Roxanne some of the Roxanne tags checked for this. Everybody else, you'd be rolling for convince. I think everybody else would be rolling with change the game. I think.
Well, what I want to have John do is basically just sneak in by sneak in with the assistance of his animal friends, distracting security guards and such.
Okay.
I
Sorry. Yeah. Actually, it would be changed the game. And what would
Still change the game?
Oh.
Okay.
No. John Pearson. That would be sneak around.
Okay.
And I think Jack Green, you would be rolling to, and anyone who climbs out or who flies out from the outside would be facing danger because there's a there could be a problem while you're going on the outside and you could be spotted. So we'd have two people facing danger, one person sneaking in, and one person rolling for convince. I think everybody go ahead and make your rolls.
Okay.
Wait, can I use? Yeah, I don't know how hurried we are, but can I use my activist community to make a distraction while, like, for example, make a huge scene, occupy the building in some sort of sense, while I climb to the top? Or
Yes, absolutely.
while everyone is doing their thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And yeah, while I'm asking, is it okay if Jack just has some plant seeds in his pocket, or does he have to go get some?
No. We technically the game would require me to tell you to change the game so that you can so that you can like find that would making that roll plus the roll to face danger would take a while. So just
Okay.
go ahead and say you've got those seeds and roll. Okay.
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 Right. Wait. One question. What do we do once we're on the top of the tower? Is it, I think, what made last time a little bit dangerous all of a sudden?
That's a good question. Are you going with an attitude of kill on sight? Are you trying to adopt a negotiating attitude? What's happening here?
I would be, I think, pushing for a tactic of talking before we try to fight.
Yeah, because we don't even at this point know what she thinks she's doing.
That's a good plan. Leave the bad guy time to monologue.
Yeah. All right. So who's made their rolls so far?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Okay. I say go ahead and make your rolls. If you fail, you're just going to be late to the party when everybody else has finished climbing. Let's. Which of you have selected all of your tags already and can tell me what they are if I haven't already?
I have selected 4 tags.
Okay. What are they?
And perhaps 5 if I do consider the terrorist as a -1.
Okay. I think uncontrollable growth might be more interesting. Actually, no. Both of them could play in different way. Just consider the terrorist could be good enough. What are the other 4?
Well, eccentric charisma for I'm asking the activist community to do some crazy stunts.
Okay.
Activist community to make a sort of protest that goes awry. And Vine whips and guerrilla tactics to go sneaky upon the building.
Hi, Peter.
Okay.
It's not PETA. We're not for animals. That's your thing, John.
No, it isn't actually. No, it isn't necessarily. I can talk with animals, but remember, my other mythos thing is a hunting bow.
Yeah. I forgot you were also a hunter.
Also, PETA isn't for animals. PETA is for making more. It's for getting enough money to make their ad campaign. And
absolutely. You're right. I agree with you. Absolutely. They put down more animals than most shelters adopt.
I'm aware.
They put down animals at a higher rate than most shelters' adoption rates.
Yeah, as a vegan, I really hate how they make other vegans look with their ad campaigns. They're horrible. Anyways, let's get back to the game.
Yeah. I'm ready to do my roll.
Go ahead, make it. That's going to be a 7. Okay. So to finish it secretly, you're stuck in an uneasy and stressful position in the middle of your action. I think what happens is that your plants manage to grow like really high, but there's a limit to how much like growth they can do, and I think your character is just hanging at the edge of the top of the skyscraper after you've pushed your plants to the maximum, and that's where you're going to start the scene when everyone is at the top. Okay, next person who's selected all of their tags.
I think I've only got the one power tag of the flight one.
Okay, then go ahead and fix danger. All right, so you take in the full status, and the Master of Ceremonies can use a hard move against you. Okay, so you fly upwards, and you make it to the top, but as soon as you set foot down, you have this incredible weight on your shoulders that pushes you to your knees. You take a status. You take status 4. Called Weight of Judgment, and that is blocking you from moving. And in front of you, Justice steps forward. Through the mist, you're able to see that her skin is golden, and that in one of her hands, she has a scale that is tipping, and the scale is shining. She's using the power of her scale to bring you to your knees, and in her other hand, she has a sword that is dripping with blood. And she says, who are you supposed to be? But before you can answer that, we're going to make somebody else roll.
All right, I guess I'll do. The tags I'll be invoking to sneak in will be communicate with nature, to use my animal friends to help me. Ward off pursuers, to have them because while he is sneaking, it's less about not being seen as more as being gone before they can really do anything about it. And I'm going to burn that, and I'm going to burn ward off pursuers.
All right. So if you burn a tag, hold on, just give me a second. If you burn a tag, you cannot use it again in the same game until you've taken time off to.
I don't get to use it again, basically.
Yes. But in exchange, you Okay. You voluntarily burn. You can boost an action. Just give me 1 second. Burning for a hit. You can voluntarily burn power tag to gain a dramatic boost to a move. So when making the core move before determining the power, you can choose to burn one of your power tags, and you gain a power of 3, and you treat the move as if you had rolled a total of 7. Since you're sneaking around, you're going to be perceived only by a secondary stance by the Avatar of Justice. Okay, she's only going to hear. She's only going to smell your dashing cologne. Okay.
Okay. And I'm also invoking cool under pressure to keep calm, keep focused on what is going on right now.
So it's like when you're burning a tag, you don't need to make the total list of tags, because the negative tags don't apply and the positive tags don't apply. You just have you just count as if you rolled a 7 with a power of 3. And last person, so you don't need to roll. You just got it. And the last person to wait, is that everyone?
No.
No, I have not rolled.
Yes, Alistair.
I don't. I have quite a few tags that I think might apply here. So if I'm bogging things down or taking too long, let me know. But
just one thing, since if once you've reached 8 tags, because the minimum you can do on the 2 dice that you roll is 1. Once you've reached 8, you don't need to go any further because it's a guaranteed 10. Okay, just telling you.
Yeah. I do not have 8 positive tags that I want to apply now. But I think charming and daredevil definitely apply.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think. Because we are explicitly burning Roxanne's wealthy patron tag, I do anything for her. Also goes in.
Yeah. You're taking quite a risk for her. Yeah.
But because she is going out of her way to help me, I think the negative status of guilt trip would also apply.
Yes. So that's minus or 3?
Minus 3, I think.
Yeah.
That was what I wrote down. Okay. But because I know that or I believe at least that Roxanne and Christian really legitimately love each other, I think romantic applies.
And in fact, I would allow you. In fact, because of this, I would allow you to use your weakness tag as a power tag for Christian's arrival.
Okay.
So that would boost you to a total of +3, power of 3.
All right. I think making enemies easily might also apply, though.
Is that your weakness tag?
Yeah, that's the weakness tag for my panache.
Okay, you choose to activate this one. It's a choice.
No, I think I'll leave it off. Just because I'm talking to security guards and secretaries and not actually important NPCs.
Alright. Go ahead and make the roll while I try to reconnect us with the person who just left.
Right. There's 3 there. Okay. Roll to convince.
So it's an 8 plus 3. It didn't counter your. It didn't count your status. So it's actually an 11. They choose either to take a relevant status. They let you through. They let you through. You make it to the top of the building. So all of you are right now at the top of the building. Except one of the players dropped out of the call. So I think we're just gonna have to like keep doing this scene for now and hope that Thomas comes back. So
sorry, my internet crashed.
Okay. You're back. It's fine. You didn't miss much. Basically, everyone is at the top of the building. And now I'm going to make a short description. Behind Justice, you all see Christian, who has a wound in his chest where Jingling had a wound in her chest. Except that he's bandaged up and he's sitting on this slab of stone that looks like a sacrificial altar, and he seems just confused at everyone who's like arriving at the same time. And Justice just addressed you, Freddy. What do you do?
Well, I'm not actually sure because this is kind of an awkward situation. Let me see. Does she seem like actually actively aggressive or just kind of not amused that we're here?
You think it's 50-50 because on the one hand she's not attacking you, but on the other hand she is pinning you down with a sort of gravity power, and she has blood on her sword.
Well, we did see the sword kill someone. I was just wondering if I was getting more of an impression of
Is she ready to?
what the hell are you doing here, or tell me what, or convince me not to stab you right now.
You're not quite sure, but she hasn't attacked you yet. More of a what are you doing here?
Okay. She also asked who I was, so that would probably be. I think that I'm going to use. I'm going to try to persuade her down a few notches so she might be more willing to talk to us. Go for charming and talk my way out of anything because this is a bad situation. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and burn charming.
Hold on. She's willing to talk to you, so you don't have. So you don't have to convince her to do that.
First failed roll at negotiation, and I'm taking extreme measures.
I mean, like, it's okay that you were willing to burn your tags and everything. It's just that right now she's completely okay with having a talk. So you don't.
Okay, so we're not trying to talk her down or anything.
Well, you could be trying to talk her down of doing something, but she's not doing anything right now.
Okay.
So, she. Okay, so I think. I think you. It's clear that you're here, and it's clear that Alistair is here because he has been he's been running upstairs, chased by some people. But overall, so he wasn't rolling to sneak. But the other two rolled to sneak, so they have actually not been perceived yet.
Yeah, I'm just hanging there.
Yeah, like all that people can see of you are your green fingers, like hanging to the ledge.
And I'm a fairly decent distraction, I guess. So yeah, when she's asking, who are you and what are you doing here, I kind of just get this weak grin. I'm like, oh, my name is Freddy. I'm Hermes, actually. Because it at least gives me a reason to be up there specifically.
She says, Nice to meet you. My name is Beatrice Greywood, and I am Justice.
Good to meet you. What's going on? Like, I have no idea.
And before you can answer, like, Apollo behind you, behind Beatrice, lights up, and he says, "Hey, I've always wanted to meet someone from my pantheon." And you can see that he staggers up to his feet, and he comes towards you and presents his hand to shake yours.
Can I actually? I can lift my head to shake his, right? I'm just not getting up.
Yeah.
So am I. That's why I'm here.
You were looking for me?
Yeah. I don't know what's going on, but it's good to meet both of you, I suppose.
He says, well, Beatrice here kidnapped me to do some weird ritual, but now that she's done, she told me I can leave, so I was gonna say no hard feelings, but I still, but like, you still stabbed me in the chest. And Beatrice says, "I'm sorry, I just did what I had to do to bring justice."
I think
I think I figured out. I think I figured out what. I think I figured out how. I think I just figured out. I think I just figured out out of character how the ritual works.
Yeah, I think I just figured out exactly what's happening.
Well, I think when Christian stands up and kind of exposes himself as a rift, I kind of stick my head out of the stairway or whatever I've just come up.
All right. So the mist just tried to interfere with our ability to record the move Stop Holding Back, but we're back on now, and the mist will be defeated. Just before you stop holding back, I think while your character is powering up, the discussion continues, and because I just want to have because we talked about it just a bit before, and I think the discussion between Hermes and Beatrice and anyone else who wants to participate could be interesting before you end on in a blaze of glory. So prepare to roll plus
+2
logos if you want to stop holding back, but in the meantime, Hermes.
Yeah, Freddie just got asked, what are your intentions coming here, you two, and, well, it really was to find Apollo, and in his case, apparently his soulmate, I thought he knows Apollo. Also, we were a little worried. We wanted to find Apollo because we noticed something strange was happening to the sun. Do you know anything about that? It's a little worrying.
Yes, in order to enact justice, I had to, because I couldn't find Horus again, I had to connect to Horus through Apollo, through his connection to the sun. And it was only by stabbing him that I was able to sever Beatrice, to sever a genuine connection with her mythos, as I had been intending to do all along.
Well, that seems like that has a lot of drawbacks, though, kind of glancing up at the sun. Like, is that going to fix itself, or?
Beatrice looks up and she says, "I don't know, but hopefully it will when Horus, when the mythos of Horus chooses to reincarnate in someone else. Hopefully this time it will choose someone who hasn't stolen things from the Egyptian culture. But if I had known that it would damage the sun in such a way, I wouldn't have held back anyways. Justice needed to be justice needs to be upheld no matter the consequences. People look up to the ideal that I represent, and justice cares not for the consequences of the consequences of the punishment, just that the punishment must be dealt.
That's very justice of you.
I try my best.
Well, since we really only came here for Apollo and we found him, is it all right if we leave?
Of course. If you see any other rifts of people who have been assigned, who have been chosen by a rift that does not belong to the culture and that they're appropriating, please let me know.
Can I crawl up now?
Yes, you can.
Overdoing this, I become angry. I climb up and I make kind of an enraged speech like, you foolish humans playing around with human concepts like justice. Don't you know what you're doing to the world? It kind of, you say you're justice, but where is the justice? Does your justice only apply to human beings? So I get the attention, and I think my plan is going in a kind of threatening way. So I'm threatening them like, what have you done?
Are you activating a move? Are you trying to convince her? Are you trying to? Are you preparing to stop holding back?
I am prepared to stop holding back.
Okay. What do you want to do? Do you want to just erase her from reality? Describe to me what you're doing, and I'll tell you if it's a significant or no return sacrifice.
I was planning to go with 2 birds, 1 stone.
Okay.
That would be damaging this corporation completely and killing, making some kind of revenge play on the 2 people responsible for this. But I should be careful not to take Apollo to this.
Yeah, Apollo is sort of like just the guy who needed to be stabbed.
Yeah, the guy who got kidnapped and stabbed.
By the way, Beatrice has lifted the weight power on you once you state your intentions.
Okay, I'm backing over towards the group that I assume now consists of Christian and Alistair, and I don't know if Roxanne's still there or not. But
no, Roxanne didn't even enter the building. She entered the building to let him through the first floor, and then she left.
I'm clear on that. So yeah, I back over, kind of backs over to those two. Like, we might want to run at some point. This is going to get bad.
All right. So John Green, you start to shake the building. You stop holding back, so the plant life around you grows even beyond its limits, and grows beyond where it had carried you to the top of the building. And what you're describing is a sacrifice of no return. So if you succeed, you replace one theme, but if you fail, and on a 10 plus, you mark fatal crack and burn all of the power tags on one theme. But if you fail, you don't achieve what you're trying to do.
So to make it clear, I'm directing the plant life, well, that destroys the building at the very least considerably, and then it focuses on justice.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Do I need to do checks, rolls?
Yes, you roll plus logos. You're rolling plus the number of themes that you have that are logos themes. How many of those do you have?
2.
Okay.
Can I use text, or is that not possible?
Go ahead. Go ahead and text to. You can use text. The text to roll.
Okay. So then do I say?
No. Sorry. Not tags. You can't apply tags to this.
Okay.
But you said text.
Tags. Okay. Where do I click? Because it's not standing there.
I guess you just click as if you were facing danger, and just click on 2 tags as if you were giving, as if you had 2 tags activated for this.
Okay.
That is a 6. That is a failure. So.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay, so you. Okay, so I think this is a good moment to end this game. I'm going to make a short description, and then we're going to end it here for today. So what happens is that John Green, you become one with nature. All of the trees that you have brought up here, they completely consume you. You become one with them in order to make this attack. Justice draws out her sword and her scale, and she charges at you because, after all, you're attacking her in a way that is unlawful. And before you can see the outcome of this, the others, you're running out of the building. The building gets hugged by and crushed by plants as you're running out of it. And by the time you've made it downstairs, it's the building is almost completely collapsed into rubble. The tree collapses back into the ground and decays at an enormous rate. And with all of the falling debris, there's no way anybody could have survived. You go back home, you saddened by the death of John Green and the fact that, and hopeful that the sun will be restored by the new arrival of Horus. And nobody is there to see a hand emerging from the rubble, holding a sword.
Oh.
And when you did it.
Wait, so I don't get to do a thing?
Huh?
Oh yeah, fuck.
I think because he was not holding back, that was like a display of power such that you had to retreat to survive. But if you want, you can stay behind and also make such a role to contribute to this epic fight.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, go ahead and roll to stop holding back then.
Yep.
Oh my god, 2 of these in a second. The game says you're not supposed to have these too often, but this is a one-shot.
This is the one shot and the end of the one shot too.
Yeah.
So
how many
logos do I have? 2.
Yeah. 2. Okay. It's the same roll.
So the facade drops from drawing from drawing into the power of Napi. Instead of the young man he had once appeared, he appears as a old graying man, and who still seems healthy and who still seems proud and healthy, despite his seeming age. older even than the man he called his grandfather. In his hand is a traditional bow. In a traditional bow, he simply walks out. You young have no concept of what goes on in this world. You dare to play at things you do not even understand. I've crafted the land. I've made life. I've held prominence over life and death itself. And you dare to even play at this mere concept. And he draws his bow and fires at Justice.
Okay. Go ahead and
that is 2d6 plus 2.
Yeah. 8. Okay. That is a partial success. You would have to change a theme completely. You lose a theme which gets consumed and a new one takes its place. But in exchange, the hand that comes out of the rubble at the end of the epilogue is holding a bow instead of a sword.
Cool. Wow.
Okay. Perfect. I hope everyone had fun.
Oh, this game is great.
Yeah,
I love.
Yeah.
This game is great. I'd love to play it again.
Yeah, this is cool.
This is one of the most interesting Apocalypse Engine games I've played, I think. There's some really cool stuff in it.
Yeah.
It actually mixes aspects of the Fate engine, of the Fate game system, and the Apocalypse World game system together, which are some of the two best of the new generation. Anyway, I think we can stop the recording here.
Hi everyone, and thank you for watching this video. If you want to keep up with all of the adventures on this channel, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button so you can get a notification each time we upload, and it would be very nice of you to like and share the video to help this channel grow. Have a nice day everyone.